This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel on this fine Sunday. As ladies and gentlemen, the rumor mill has been going strong with Jesse Puljujarvi, as now we're into the final month before it's decided that Jesse Puljujarvi can't play in the NHL again until next season. Right? He has until December 1st to sign. Same thing as that guy last year, William Nylander. And if he does as such and gets signed, well, then he can play. But the question is, does he sign with the Oilers? Does he get traded and signed? Or does he not get signed at all and stays in Europe with Karpat all season long? Well, that leads us to where I think I read some headlines saying the New York Rangers have some strong interest in Jesse Puljujarvi. And then I happen to also see that, a New York Rangers fan commented on my Pavel Buchnevich trade discussion I had done back in the summer when Buchnevich was still an RFA, and I'm like, well, this one could help the Oilers. Technically speaking, we've got our own problem. Well, blah, 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 blah. Add two and two together, maybe something's to be done there. And then days later, Buchnevich just signed with the Rangers, and that has been the story since. Now, the Rangers, they have another guy that seems to always be in the discussion for trade talk ever since about, I think the first articles I've seen on the internet were back Christmas time last year, maybe prior, maybe the start of last year, and that would be a guy in Chris Kreider. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go quickly take off the subscribe bar there and throw up this graphic here. Chris Kreider of the New York Rangers. He's a, winger. That's what you need to know. Chris Kreider is a winger. He's in fact a left winger that, guys, who could use a left winger in the top six in a package that we could possibly make work? Well, maybe with James Neal up there on his right wing, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins could use a guy like Chris Kreider, right? There you go, maybe. So let's go read these stats here for a second. Chris Kreider is a four-time, 20-goal scorer. So again, same thing with James Neal, getting some goal scoring on Nuge's wing. And then, he's scored more than 40 points 4 times in his career as well. And this year, 6 points in 11 games. He should be on pace for 44 points, 45 points this season. That would not be bad at all. We could take 45 points, especially if we could go get about 30 of them from Chris Kreider. Now, the reason I say 30 and not 39, right? Obviously, normally when you're talking trade discussion, it's something that needs to happen today. Well, this is not a trade discussion I'm sitting here telling you needs to happen today, because there's a couple moving pieces to Chris Kreider that really aren't going to add up that beautifully for the Oilers when it gets to doing that math that comes to building this roster post-trade and pre-trade. Is Chris Kreider's, his contract. That's the problem. Chris Kreider's contract is $4.625 million. That's a cap hit above, a lot of guys on our team, and a cap hit we can't afford given the circumstances right now. Now, the guy who commented on the video and said, well, we'll give you Kreider for Jesse Puljujarvi and a second-round pick, doesn't work. It straight up doesn't work. So here's the package that I will recommend that works for the Oilers. There is still a move to be made because you still have to find somebody down in the minors to alleviate some salary cap issues, and that could be Colby Cave, that could be Gaetan again, that could be Sam Gagner, that could be anybody, realistically. Brandon Manning, for instance. But this is the trade that I would propose if you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're looking to make a trade with the New York Rangers for Chris Kreider. Now this is, I see that this is a tough one to kind of add up, but remember, he's asking for Jesse Puljujarvi plus a second-round pick for, Chris Kreider. Straight up. That's where we're going at the value. Well, suddenly you can add in some extra value here, and maybe I'm off, but I think I'm pretty bang on, and you can mess around with the conditions. These are just kind of to say there are going to be conditions if you are to make such a trade. So the reason I have to go with these three guys, Adam Larsson, Jesse Puljujarvi, and Matthew Benning, as our kind of pairing to get Chris Kreider in a pick back, is it's a very simple formula of the cap. That's what I'm saying, is the cap is the victim here, and the Rangers don't have that much cap to work with either. They have about I think in the neighborhood of 2.3 or 2.7, one of those two numbers that's not ringing in my head. So you got to remember, right? Adam Larsson 4.166, Matt Benning 1.9. So they're saving 0.5 on Kreider to Larsson, and then adding 1.4 technically once you count in the savings on, well, a guy like Matt Benning, right? That's what I'm going. Sorry, Sunday afternoon football is getting the text in. We're getting some greasy food requests because, well, ladies and gentlemen, it was a rough night at the costume party. As I mentioned, rocked the Connor McDavid jersey all night. That was fun. However, back to my point is the simple fact that, you know what, for the Rangers, this mathematically works on their cap side of things as well. Now, that's to make it work, you're going to have to grease the wheels, and maybe I'm giving up too much. Maybe I am, and I'm totally fair. But I think getting Chris Kreider back is a good start, especially considering he wanted Jesse Puljujarvi in his second-round pick. And then second-round pick minimum, right? That's a minimum. Now, obviously, I did this before adding Matt Benning. I had Sam Gagner in there originally, but the math didn't work. So, realistically, it probably should be straight up a first-round pick. So, on my conditions, I said if Jesse Puljujarvi scores 15-plus goals in 2019-2020, fair enough, right? He might be playing with Capo Caco. You just never know. And then secondary to that is the Rangers reach the second round of Stanley Cup playoffs. So that would be my condition. And you just never know at this point of the season. You kind of have to build in your insurance policy. And especially when you go out and give up Adam Larsson, Jesse Puljujarvi, and Matt Benning, who have been pieces of the Oilers for several years now, is that, well, you don't want to see them have success elsewhere and you not get fairly compensated for it. That would be my argument to that right there. So for Chris Kreider, realistically, is it worth it? That's the deal, the question, the deal breaker almost for the Edmonton Oilers when it comes down to it. As long as you get the pick, sure, you're good. But Chris Kreider, is he going to be worth it? And what we'll do is we'll go back to those stats right there and kind of see what Chris Kreider brings for the Edmonton Oilers if he is to become an Edmonton Oiler in such a trade. Is the simple fact this year he has 6 points in 11 games played, a -4, 10 penalty minutes, so technically speaking, five penalties in 11 games. Guys, we have Matt Benning taking 2 and 1, so don't panic about that. He's scored, well, 1 goal even strength, 1 goal on the power play, so this guy is somebody who could give us that legit second power play unit, right? This is something that we've been begging for. Obviously, I'm always yelling, give the secondary unit some more time on the ice. Well, Chris Kreider being able to be out there, that could definitely give you a good reason to do it. His shooting percentage sitting at 8.7, so it's lower than his career average. That's always been above 10.5. So right there, mathematically, guys, totally fine. We'll be good. It'll be fine. So let's just hold off on that one there for now. And then 17 minutes and 7 seconds on the ice for Kreider. So he's a top line, second line kind of guy. So we know he can log the minutes, and especially with a lineup like Nuge and Neal on his other sides. Guys, we're talking a very legit Edmonton Oilers second line for not losing really anything out of our blue line, right? Let's go back to why I said this trade doesn't have to happen right away. Adam Larsson can't come back until, well, he's ready to. So Adam Larsson, for instance, right there, we need to wait till he's ready. And then secondarily to that is the simple fact that if you're going to move out Matt Benning, you want to know if Caleb Jones is going to be capable of filling that hole, or if you're going to bring up Evan Bouchard to fill that hole. And I guess when you're talking by the end of this month, we very well could know if Evan Bouchard's ready for showtime or if we need to wait on and hold on. And that's fair enough, right? We could definitely sit here and, well, totally not have to go down this road because Joel Pearson's now giving us troubles on November 30th, right? And you think Ethan Bear's not as good as he started the season, or you just never know, right? We've got another 29 days to go realistically till we probably know what's going on with Adam Larsson. So right there, that's why I throw some little bit of caution into this trade. This is what could make it work. Now, does this work? Does this happen? Probably absolutely not. But this is the formula that the Oilers really, mathematically, according to my numbers that I ran on Cap Friendly, need to do to make a Chris Kreider work and still have close to fair value. Because, guys, yeah, sure, you know what? You could probably trade Matt Benning for a third-round pick, realistically. So what are you getting? You're getting from a third-round pick to a first round pick and not having to give up a pick by adding Adam Larsson. So that's where it gets sketchy. You see what I say? I'm not loving the package, but that's the mathematical package that makes sense to me, just based on about 20 minutes of running numbers and plugging and playing on Cap Friendly. So guys, that's where I'm going to turn it over to you. This is Chris Kreider. This is the trade package. This is Dolany TV. And what I want you to do is get into the comments section down below. Give me your thoughts. Is a Chris Kreider trade the exact idea for the Oilers, what they should be going after, or what do you want to see the Oilers do here if they are indeed to trade for Chris Kreider? Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolany TV. I will catch you, as always, in the next one.